Here's the thing about having a mother who hates you. She doesn't say it outright. She never looks you in the eye and says, "I don't love you." That would be too honest, too easy to point at and name. Instead, she says other things. Things that sound like concern. Things that sound like love, if you don't listen too closely. "I'm just worried about you. You're not yourself lately. Have you been taking your medication?" I don't need medication. I'm not unstable. I'm not crazy. But my mother has been telling people I am for 29 years. And on my wedding day, standing in front of 86 guests, she finally said it out loud where everyone could hear. She thought she would destroy me. She didn't know that my fiancé had been keeping receipts. 134 of them. Welcome back to Gentle Drama. Get comfortable. Grab your coffee. The people in this story had every chance to do the right thing. They just didn't. Drop a comment and tell us, what city are you watching from, and how old are you? And be sure to subscribe. You're not going to believe what happens at this wedding. My name is Emma. I'm 29 years old. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. Ironic, I know. I spend my days helping people navigate toxic families, and I spent my whole life trapped inside one. My mother, Diana, is 57. She's a real estate agent. She's good at her job because she's good at lying, at making things look better than they are, at hiding the cracks and the rot behind fresh paint and staged furniture. She did the same thing with our family. To the outside world, we were perfect. Nice house, nice car, nice clothes. My mother volunteered at church. She hosted dinner parties. She posted photos of our close-knit family on Facebook. Behind closed doors, she was a different person. She controlled everything. My clothes, my friends, my schedule, my thoughts. When I was 12, she convinced my father to send me to a therapist. Not because I needed one. Because I had started talking back. Because I had started asking questions. Because I had started to see that the way she treated me wasn't normal. "She's acting out," my mother told the therapist. "She's been so difficult lately. I'm worried about her." The therapist believed her. Why wouldn't she? My mother was charming, persuasive. She'd been practicing her whole life. I was diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder. A fancy way of saying I didn't obey her enough. I wasn't defiant. I was surviving. I met Lucas 3 years ago, at a bookstore. He was looking at the same memoir I was reaching for. We laughed. We talked. We went for coffee. He was different from anyone I'd ever known. Kind. Patient. He listened when I spoke. He remembered the small things, my favorite color, the name of my childhood dog, the way I took my coffee. When I told him about my mother, he didn't say, "I'm sure she loves you in her own way." He didn't make excuses for her. He said, "That sounds exhausting." I cried. No one had ever said that before. No one had ever acknowledged that living with my mother was work. That smiling through her insults was a performance. That surviving her wasn't weakness, it was strength. "I believe you," he said. Those 3 words changed my life. If you've made it this far, you can probably feel what's coming. Before things get real, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like. I promise you, you do not want to miss what happens when Lucas pulls out those receipts. Let's keep going. My mother hated Lucas from the moment she met him. Not because he was rude or cruel or untrustworthy. Because he saw through her. Because he didn't flinch when she made her passive-aggressive comments. Because he didn't fall for the performance. "He's too quiet," she told me. "What's he hiding?" "He's not hiding anything, Mom. Men who are quiet are usually hiding something. Or they're just quiet. Don't be naive." She tried to turn me against him. "He's only with you because you're convenient. He'll leave when he finds someone better." She tried to turn him against me. "Has she told you about her mental health issues?" "She's not stable." "I'm worried she's not being honest with you." Lucas told me about that conversation. He didn't hide it from me. "Your mother told me you were hospitalized when you were 16. I wasn't. She sent me to a residential treatment center because I wouldn't do what she said." I know. I didn't believe her. "Why not?" "Because I know you." And she showed me who she was in the first 5 minutes I met her. He started keeping records after that. Not because he planned to use them. Because he wanted to protect me. "Someday," he said, "she's going to try something. And I want to be ready." I thought he was being paranoid. I was wrong. The wedding planning was a nightmare. My mother wanted to control everything. The venue, the flowers, the guest list, the dress. You can't wear that color. It washes you out. You can't invite that person. She's not our kind of people. You can't have the ceremony outside. What if it rains? I pushed back. For the first time in my life, I pushed back. It's my wedding, Mom. It's a family wedding. And I'm the matriarch. You're not the matriarch. You're a guest. Like everyone else. Her face went cold. We'll see about that. If you've made it this far, you're one of the few. Most people would have stopped by now. But you stayed. That tells me something about you. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like. What comes next? You don't want to miss it. The wedding day was beautiful. Sunny. 70 degrees. A light breeze off the river. The garden venue was covered in flowers. Peonies, my favorite. Lucas had insisted. My bridesmaids helped me into my dress. White. Simple. Elegant. Nothing like what my mother had wanted. You look stunning, my maid of honor said. I feel stunning. Your mother is going to lose her mind. That's the point. We laughed. But I was nervous. My mother had been quiet for weeks. Too quiet. I'd been waiting for the other shoe to drop. The guests arrived. 86 of them. Friends. Co-workers. Distant relatives. Lucas's huge, warm family. My mother came alone. My father had died 5 years ago. Cancer. I missed him every day. He was the only buffer between me and her. Without him, she was unleashed. She was wearing white. Not off-white. Not cream. White. A full-length white lace dress. The kind of dress a bride wears. Isn't it lovely? She said, twirling. You're wearing white to my wedding. It's champagne, dear. Not white. It was white. I didn't argue. I didn't have time. The ceremony was about to start. The ceremony was beautiful. Lucas cried when he saw me. His mother cried. Even his father teared up. We said our vows. Simple words. Honest words. Promises to show up, to listen, to choose each other every day. The officiant pronounced us husband and wife. We kissed. Everyone clapped. For 10 minutes, I was happy. Completely, utterly happy. Then the reception started. The reception was in the same garden. Long tables draped in white. String lights overhead. A band playing covers of songs we loved. Lucas and I sat at the head table. My mother was at a table near the front, surrounded by her sisters and their judgmental stares. Dinner was served. Speeches were made. Lucas's brother told an embarrassing story about their childhood. My best friend made everyone cry. And then my mother stood up. I'd like to say a few words, she said. Lucas tensed. I put my hand on his arm. Let her. I whispered. Emma. Let her. We're ready. She walked to the microphone. She was holding a glass of champagne. Her smile was wide. Perfect. Fake. All right, this is the moment everything changes. If you're still here, you're one of the rare ones. 94% of people scroll past without subscribing, but you stayed. That tells me something about you. Hit subscribe because what comes next? You deserve to see what happens when the truth comes out. I'm Diana, she began. Emma's mother. A few people clapped. I've known Emma for 29 years. Longer than anyone in this room. And I love her more than anyone in this room. She paused. Took a sip of her champagne. That's why I have to say something. Even if it's hard. Even if she won't thank me for it. The room went quiet. Emma is not well, she said. She's been struggling with mental health issues for years. I've tried to help her. I've tried to get her treatment. But she refuses. Mom. Let me finish, sweetheart. This is important. She looked at the guests. Lucas is a wonderful man. He deserves a wife who can be a partner to him. But Emma isn't capable of that right now. She needs help. She needs treatment. She needs to be hospitalized. My mother said the word, hospitalized, like she was diagnosing a common cold. I'm saying this because I love her. Because I want what's best for her. And what's best for her is not getting married. Not right now. Not like this. She raised her glass. To Emma. May she find the healing she so desperately needs. The room was frozen. No one knew where to look. Some people stared at me. Some people stared at my mother. Some people stared at the floor. wishing they were anywhere else. I stood up. Mom, sit down. I'm not finished.
Yes.
You are. Emma, don't make a scene. I laughed. The sound was sharp. Hollow. I'm making a scene? You just told 86 people I'm insane. In front of my husband. In front of his family. On my wedding day. I'm telling the truth. You're lying. You've been lying about me my whole life. My mother shook her head sadly.
See?
This is what I'm talking about. She's delusional. She can't see reality. Lucas stood up. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't storm toward her. He just pulled out his phone and walked calmly to the microphone. Excuse me, he said. I'd like to share something. My mother stepped back. This is a family matter. You made it public. Now we're going to finish it publicly. He held up his phone. For the past 3 years, I've been keeping records. Because Emma told me what her mother was like. And I believed her. Records of what? My mother asked. Her voice was sharp now. Of everything. He turned to the guests. 134 receipts for money Diana stole from Emma's bank account. Money she took under the guise of helping with bills while Emma was in college. My mother's face went pale. 47 text messages threatening Emma if she didn't do what Diana wanted, including one where she said, and I quote, "If you marry him, I will destroy you." Those are out of context. 12 audio recordings of Diana telling Emma she was crazy, unstable, and needed to be institutionalized. Recordings I personally witnessed. Recordings she never knew we were making. He looked at her. You want to talk about truth? Let's talk about truth. If you've made it this far, you're one of the rare ones. 94% of people scroll past without subscribing, but you stayed. That tells me something about you. Hit subscribe, because what comes next? You deserve to see what happens when the receipts come out. Lucas didn't read everything. He didn't have to. He just handed his phone to the nearest guest, Lucas's uncle, a retired judge, and said, "Take a look." The uncle scrolled. His expression shifted from confusion to shock to disgust. He passed the phone to his wife. She passed it to the person next to her. The phone moved through the crowd like a ripple in a pond. People gasped. People whispered. People stared at my mother like they were seeing her for the first time. I can explain, she said. Then explain, Lucas said. Those texts were taken out of context. Out of context? You wrote, "I will destroy you." What context makes that acceptable? I was upset. You were threatening your daughter. On her wedding day. In front of her entire family. My mother looked around the room. Searching for an ally. Searching for anyone who would defend her. No one did. Her sisters looked away. Her friends stared at the floor. The relatives who had always believed her stories suddenly seemed uncertain. "You're all against me," she whispered. "No," Lucas said. "We're for Emma." For the first time in her life, someone is for Emma. He turned to me, took my hand. "I love you. I believe you. And I will spend the rest of my life proving that you are not crazy, you are not unstable, and you are the strongest person I have ever known." I started crying, not sad tears, happy tears, relieved tears. "I love you too," I said. My mother tried to leave. She grabbed her purse, started walking toward the exit. "Where are you going?" I asked. "I won't stay where I'm not wanted." "You're not wanted anywhere. Not anymore." She stopped, turned around. "You'll regret this, Emma. You'll need me someday. And I won't be there." "I've needed you my whole life, Mom. You were never there. Not really." She walked out. The door closed behind her. And for the first time in 29 years, I felt free. Here's something I learned in the minutes after my mother walked out of my wedding reception. The silence after a bomb explodes is louder than the bomb itself. For a moment, nobody moved. The band had stopped playing. The waiters had stopped serving. 86 people sat frozen in their chairs, holding forks and wine glasses and pieces of cake they no longer wanted to eat. My mother's white dress had disappeared through the garden gates. Her champagne glass was still on the table, half full, a lipstick stain on the rim. Lucas was holding my hand. His fingers were warm. "Steady. Are you okay?" he whispered. "I don't know. Do you want to leave?"
No.
I looked around the room. At the faces of the people who had come to celebrate us. At the flowers. At the string lights. At the cake we hadn't cut yet. I want to stay, I said. I want to dance. I want to eat cake. I want to have the wedding we planned. Then, that's what we'll do. He walked to the band, said something to the singer. The music started again. Not slow, not sad. Upbeat.
Happy.
He held out his hand. May I have this dance, Mrs. Vance? You may. We danced. Everyone watched at first. Then they joined in. One by one. Couples spinning. Friends laughing. Children running between tables. My mother was gone, but we were still here, and we were going to be okay. Welcome back to Gentle Drama. Get comfortable. Grab your coffee. I got in. He walked around to the driver's side. We drove home in silence. Not an angry silence. A peaceful one. The silence of two people who didn't need words to know what the other was thinking. When we got home, I checked my phone. 73 messages. If you've made it this far, you can probably feel what's coming. Before things get real, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like. I promise you, you do not want to miss what happens when Emma's mother starts her counterattack. Let's keep going. The messages were a mix of everything. Some from friends, checking if I was okay. Some from relatives, apologizing for not speaking up sooner. Some from people I hadn't talked to in years, asking for the recordings Lucas had mentioned. And some from my mother. Not to me. To other people. My cousin had forwarded me a text my mother sent her an hour after leaving the reception. I'm so sorry you had to witness that. Emma has been unstable for years. Lucas is manipulating her. He's isolated her from everyone who loves her. I'm praying for her. Please do the same. I read the message 3 times. She was still lying. Still playing the victim. Still trying to turn people against me. She's not going to stop, I said. Lucas looked over my shoulder. Read the message.
No.
She's not. What do? We do what we planned. We tell the truth. And we let her bury herself. The next morning I called a lawyer. Not because I wanted to sue my mother. Because I wanted to understand my options. Because I wanted to know if I could protect myself from whatever she did next. The lawyer's name was Margaret. She was the same lawyer who had helped the women in so many of my other stories. Tough, experienced, and absolutely fearless. Ms. Vance, she said. I read about your wedding. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Thank you. What can I do for you? My mother has been telling people I'm mentally unstable for years. She tried to destroy my wedding. She's not going to stop. I want to know what my rights are. Do you have evidence? My husband has 134 receipts. Text messages. Recordings. Bank statements. There was a pause. Then Margaret laughed. I like your husband already. Most people don't think to keep records until it's too late. He's been preparing for 3 years. Smart man. Send me everything. I'll review it and get back to you. The first week after the wedding was chaos. My mother called everyone. Literally everyone. Relatives. Co-workers. Old neighbors. The woman who cut her hair. She told them all the same story. I was crazy. Lucas was controlling, and she was a victim. Some people believed her. Some didn't. My Aunt Karen called me on Tuesday. Emma, I need to know the truth. What do you want to know? Are you okay? Really?
Ivy fine, Aunt Karen.
I've always been fine. My mother has been lying about me for years. I want to believe you, but she's so convincing. That's what abusers do. They're convincing. Don't call your mother an abuser. What would you call someone who steals money from their child? Who threatens them? Who lies to doctors to have them institutionalized? She was quiet. I have proof, Aunt Karen. Lucas has been keeping records for 3 years. I can show you. I don't want to see proof. I want my family to be okay. Your family has never been okay. You've just been pretending. She hung up. If you've made it this far, you're one of the few. Most people would have stopped by now. But you stayed. That tells me something about you. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like. What comes next? You don't want to miss it. Lucas's family invited us to Seattle for the week. A break. A chance to breathe. A chance to be somewhere my mother couldn't reach us. We flew out on Sunday. His mother picked us up at the airport. She hugged me for a long time. You're family now, she said. And family protects each other. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank my son. He's been preparing for your mother for years. I looked at Lucas. He was already in the car, arguing with his father about basketball. He's a good man, I said. He learned from his father. We drove to their house, a cozy cottage on a hill overlooking the water. His mother made dinner. His father told bad jokes. His sister showed up with her kids, and the children ran around the living room, shrieking with joy. This was what family was supposed to feel like.
Warm. Safe.
Unconditional. I started crying. What's wrong?
Lucas asked.
Nothing. That's the problem. I'm not used to nothing being wrong.
He put his arm around me.
Get used to it. The second week, my mother escalated. She hired a lawyer. Not to sue me, to sue Lucas. She claimed he had defamed her at the wedding by sharing private information. I got the letter on a Thursday. Dear Ms. Vance, please be advised that we represent your mother, Diana Vance. She has instructed us to pursue legal action against your husband for defamation of character, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. We request that you and your husband cease and desist from any further dissemination of private communications. We further request that you return all copies of any recordings, text messages, or other documents obtained without your mother's consent. Failure to comply will result in immediate legal action. I read the letter. Then I read it again. Then I called Margaretchen. She's suing Lucas for defamation. I saw the letter. It's garbage. Garbage. She has no case. You can't defame someone by telling the truth. And everything Lucas shared at the wedding was true. You have the receipts to prove it. What about the recordings? She says we didn't have her consent. Ohio is a one-party consent state. You were a party to those conversations. You didn't need her permission. Asterisk. So, she can't do anything? She can try, but she'll lose. And she'll have to pay your legal fees. Should we be worried?
No.
You should be ready. People like your mother don't give up easily. She's going to keep fighting. She's going to keep lying. She's going to keep playing the victim. What do? You live your life. You be happy. That's the best revenge. All right, this is the moment everything changes. If you're still here, you're one of the rare ones. 94% of people scroll past without subscribing, but you stayed. That tells me something about you. Hit subscribe because what comes next? You deserve to see what happens when Emma's mother takes the stand. The lawsuit dragged on for 6 months. Depositions. Hearings. Endless paperwork. Margaret was right. My mother had no case. But she had money. And she had spite. And she was willing to spend both to make our lives miserable. Lucas stayed calm through all of it. Let her dig her own grave, he said. Every time she sends another letter, we add it to the file. The file was getting thick. More texts. More voicemails. More lies. More threats. My mother told her lawyer that I had been hospitalized 3 times. I sent them my medical records. I'd never been hospitalized. She told her lawyer that Lucas had threatened her. We sent her lawyer the recordings of her threatening us. She told her lawyer that I was on psychiatric medication that made me unstable. We sent a letter from my doctor stating that I had never been prescribed any psychiatric medication. Every lie she told, we disproved. Every attack she launched, we absorbed. And finally, 9 months after the wedding, the case went to court. The courthouse was the same one where my father used to take me to watch trials when I was a child. He loved the law. He wanted to be a lawyer, but his father had pressured him into the family business instead. He would have been proud of me. And heartbroken. Proud that I was standing up for myself. Heartbroken that it had to be against my own mother. Lucas held my hand as we walked up the steps. You ready? He asked. I've been ready my whole life. Margaret met us inside. She was wearing a navy blue suit and carrying a briefcase that looked like it had been to war. Your mother is already here, she said. She's sitting in the front row. She's wearing black, like she's going to a funeral. Whose funeral? Hers. She just doesn't know it yet. The courtroom was small. Wood panels. Fluorescent lights. The smell of old paper and nervous sweat. My mother sat at the defendant's table. Her lawyer was a man in an expensive suit who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. She stared at me as I walked in. Her eyes were cold. Empty. I walked past her without looking. Lucas sat next to me. Margaret sat on my other side. The judge entered. Everyone stood. The bailiff called the court to order. This is a civil case, the judge said.
Diana Vence Lucas Vence.
The plaintiff alleges defamation, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The defendant denies all allegations and has filed a countersuit for malicious prosecution. He looked at my mother's lawyer. Is the plaintiff ready? Ready, Your Honor. He looked at Margaret. Is the defense ready? Ready, Your Honor. And we would like to request a preliminary hearing of evidence before opening statements. On what grounds? The defense believes the plaintiff's case is frivolous and has been filed in bad faith. We would like the court to review the evidence before we proceed. The judge looked at my mother's lawyer. Any objection? The lawyer shifted in his seat. We would like to proceed. I'll allow it. Defense, present your evidence. If you've made it this far, you're one of the rare ones. 94% of people scroll past without subscribing, but you stayed. That tells me something about you. Hit subscribe because what comes next? You deserve to see the moment everything falls apart for Diana. Margaret walked to the center of the courtroom. Your Honor, the defense has 134 exhibits. However, we believe just one is sufficient to demonstrate the nature of this case. She held up a single sheet of paper. Asterisk, that is a text message sent by the plaintiff, Diana Vance, to her daughter, Emma Vance, 3 days before the wedding. The message reads, "If you marry him, I will destroy you. I have money. I have connections. You have nothing." My mother's lawyer stood up. Objection, hearsay. It's not hearsay, Your Honor. It's a statement by the plaintiff directly threatening the defendant's wife. And we have the phone records to prove she sent it. The judge looked at the paper. Overruled. Continue. Margaret held up another paper. This is a bank statement showing the plaintiff transferred $47,000 from her daughter's savings account into her own account without permission. The money was never returned. Another paper. This is a recording of the plaintiff telling her daughter, and I quote, "You're crazy. You've always been crazy. I should have put you in a home when I had the chance." Another paper. This is a letter from Emma Vance's doctor stating that she has never been diagnosed with any mental illness and has never been hospitalized. Margaret turned to the judge. Your Honor, the plaintiff has spent years lying about her daughter. She has stolen from her. She has threatened her. And when her daughter finally found happiness, she tried to destroy her wedding in front of 86 guests. She gestured to my mother. This case is not about defamation. It's about a woman who cannot stand to lose control. And we have the receipts to prove it. My mother's lawyer didn't even try to argue. He asked for a recess. He asked for a settlement. He asked for anything that would make this go away. But it was too late. The judge looked at my mother. Mrs. Vance, do you have any evidence to support your claims? I don't need evidence. I'm her mother. I know her better than anyone. That's not how the law works. The law should protect mothers. The law protects everyone, including daughters who have been abused. My mother's face went red. I'm not an abuser. A jury will decide that. If this case goes to trial. He looked at her lawyer. I recommend you advise your client to drop this case immediately. Because if it goes to trial, I will be forced to allow the defense to present all 134 exhibits. And I don't think that will end well for her. The lawyer nodded. Yes, Your Honor. The judge adjourned the court. My mother sat frozen in her seat. Her hands were shaking. For the first time in her life, she had lost. And she knew it. Here's something I learned in the days after the judge advised my mother to drop her lawsuit. Winning doesn't feel like winning. Not at first. It feels like exhaustion. Like the stillness after a storm. When you're standing in the wreckage, trying to figure out what's left. My mother dropped the case. Her lawyer told her she had no chance. She signed the papers without looking at them. She walked out of the courthouse with her head down, her white dress replaced by a black suit, her confidence replaced by something I'd never seen in her before.
Defeat.
I thought I would feel satisfied. I thought I would feel vindicated. I thought I would finally feel like I'd won. But all I felt was tired. Lucas put his arm around me as we walked to the car. It's over, he said. Is it? The lawsuit is over. The rest, that's up to you. What do you mean? I mean you get to decide what happens next. You get to decide if you want a relationship with her. You get to decide if you want to forgive her. You get to decide if you want her in our lives. What do you think I should do? I think you should do whatever helps you sleep at night. I lean my head on his shoulder. I love you. I love you too. We drove home. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink and purple. For the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of the dark. Welcome back to Gentle Drama. Get comfortable. Grab your coffee. This is the final chapter of Emma's story. Drop a comment and tell us, what city are you watching from, and how old are you? And be sure to subscribe. You're not going to want to miss how this ends. The months after the lawsuit were quiet. Not peaceful. Quiet. There's a difference. Peace is when you feel safe. Quiet is when the noise stops, but you're still waiting for it to start again. I kept waiting for my mother to do something else. To send another letter. To file another lawsuit. To show up at our door with a camera crew and a therapist. She didn't. She retreated. I heard from relatives that she'd stopped leaving the house. That she'd fired her lawyer. That she'd unfriended everyone on Facebook who had attended the wedding. She was alone. And for the first time, I didn't feel sorry for her. I started seeing a therapist. Not because my mother was right about me. Because I needed to untangle 30 years of lies. Because I needed to learn how to be happy without waiting for her permission. Her name was Dr. Reyes. She was in her 50s. She had kind eyes and a calm voice and a way of asking questions that made me think without feeling attacked. Tell me about your mother, she said in our first session. How much time do you have? All the time you need. I told her everything. The childhood. The control. The therapist who diagnosed me with something I didn't have. The residential treatment center where I spent 6 months because I wouldn't obey. My father tried to protect me, I said. But he was afraid of her too. He didn't know how to stand up to her. And after he died, I was alone. Completely alone. Until I met Lucas. Tell me about Lucas. He believed me. He's the first person who ever believed me. Dr. Reyes nodded. That's why you married him. That's why I married him. If you've made it this far, you can probably feel what's coming. Before things get real, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like. I promise you, you do not want to miss what happens when Emma finally confronts her mother. Let's keep going. My mother called me on the 1-year anniversary of the wedding. I almost didn't answer, but I did. Emma. Mom. I've been thinking about everything. About the wedding. About the lawsuit. About the way I treated you. Okay. I want to apologize. I waited. I'm sorry you felt hurt by what I did. That's not an apology. It is.
No, it's not.
An apology is I was wrong. I hurt you.
I'm sorry, kropka.
What you just said is, I'm sorry you felt hurt. That's not taking responsibility. That's blaming me for my reaction. She was quiet. I don't know how to do this, she said. Then learn. Go to therapy. Read a book. Do the work. But don't call me with fake apologies and expect me to pretend everything is fine. You're so angry.
Yes.
I am. I've been angry my whole life. And I'm finally allowing myself to feel it. Anger isn't healthy. Suppressing anger isn't healthy either. I'm learning to express it. In therapy. With people who actually want to help me. Asterisk. I wanted to help you.
No.
You wanted to control me. There's a difference. I hung up. My hands were shaking. But my voice hadn't wavered. I was proud of myself. A few weeks later, I got a letter. Handwritten. On stationery I recognized from my childhood. Emma. I'm writing this because I can't say it out loud. I'm not brave enough. I was wrong. About everything. About the wedding. About the lawsuit. About the way I treated you. I was afraid of losing you. So I tried to control you. And the more you pulled away, the harder I held on. I see that now. I've been seeing a therapist. She says I have a personality disorder. I didn't want to believe her at first. But I think she's right. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. I'm just asking for a chance. A small chance. To prove that I can be different. I love you, Emma. I always have. I just didn't know how to show it. Mom. I read the letter 3 times. Then I put it in a drawer. Not because I was hiding it. Because I needed time to think. If you've made it this far, you're one of the few. Most people would have stopped by now. But you stayed. That tells me something about you. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like. What comes next? You don't want to miss it. I talked to Dr. Reyes about the letter. What do you want to do? She asked. I don't know. Part of me wants to believe her. Part of me is terrified of getting hurt again. Both of those feelings are valid. What would you do? I'm not you. I can't answer that. But if you were me? She thought for a moment. I would start small. A phone call. 15 minutes.
No talk about the past.
Just, how are you? What are you reading? What's the weather like? Small talk. Small talk. Because big talk is what got you here. Start small. See if she can handle that. And if she can't, then you have your answer. I called my mother the next day. She answered on the first ring. Emma? Mum. I didn't think you'd call. I wasn't sure I would either. Silence. How are you? I asked.
I'm okay.
I've been going to therapy, like I said in the letter. That's good. How are you? I'm good. I'm happy. Lucas is good.
I'm glad.
Another silence. What are you reading? I asked.
What?
What book are you reading?
She paused.
Then she laughed. A real laugh. Not the fake one she used at parties. I'm rereading Pride and Prejudice. For the 5th time. You always loved that book. I still do. We talked for 15 minutes. About books. About the weather. About a bird that had built a nest on her porch.
No accusations. No apologies. No manipulation.
Just two people trying to figure out how to be in the same room again. All right, this is the moment everything changes. If you're still here, you're one of the rare ones. 94% of people scroll past without subscribing, but you stayed. That tells me something about you. Hit subscribe because what comes next? You deserve to see how Emma's story ends, for real this time. The small talks became weekly. 15 minutes, then 30, then an hour. We didn't talk about the past. We didn't talk about the wedding or the lawsuit or the 134 receipts. We talked about normal things. Groceries. TV shows. The neighbor's new puppy. It wasn't a relationship. Not yet. It was a beginning. Dr. Reyes was right. Small talk was the foundation. And from that foundation, we could build something new. Or nothing at all. I didn't know which yet. And I didn't need to know. A year after the phone call started, my mother asked if she could come to my birthday dinner. Lucas and I talked about it. What do you think? He asked. I think she deserves a chance. Do you want me there?
Yes.
But if she starts anything, we leave. Agreed. The dinner was at her house.
Small.
Just us and my mother and Lucas's parents. My mother arrived with flowers. Not white. Pink. The color I actually liked. These are for you, she said. Thank you. They're not a bribe. I wanted to bring something. I appreciate it. Dinner was awkward at first. Then less awkward. Then almost normal. Lucas's mother asked about her garden. My mother asked about Lucas's job. Lucas's father told a bad joke. Everyone laughed. At the end of the night, my mother hugged me. Not the stiff, formal hug she used to give. A real hug. Brief. Hesitant. But real. Thank you for inviting me, she said. Thank you for coming. She left. Lucas put his arm around me. How do you feel? Like I'm holding my breath. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Asterisk. Maybe it won't. Maybe. Here's what I learned in the years after the wedding. Healing is not a straight line. It's a circle. You think you're done, you think you've moved on, and then something pulls you back. A memory. A smell. A song on the radio that you haven't heard in years. You don't get over it. You get through it. And then you get through it again. And again. Until one day you realize you've been through it so many times that it doesn't hurt anymore. It's just a scar. A reminder of something that happened a long time ago. I don't have a perfect relationship with my mother. I don't know if I ever will. But I have something. A small something. A beginning. And that's more than I ever thought possible. Last week, my mother came over for dinner. She brought a casserole. She asked about my work. She played with our new puppy. At the end of the night, she handed me a small box. What's this? Open it. Inside was a key. It's to my house, she said. In case you ever need a place to stay. Or in case I ever need you. I looked at the key. Small. Silver. Heavy. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything.
Just take it. Keep it.
Use it if you want. Throw it away if you don't. I closed my hand around the key. Thank you. She nodded. I'm trying, Emma. I know it's not enough. I know I have a long way to go. But I'm trying. I see that. Asterisk.
She left.
I stood in the doorway, watching her car disappear down the street. Lucas came up behind me. What was that about? I showed him the key. She gave you a key to her house? She did. What are you going to do with it? I'm going to keep it. In the drawer. With the letter. Why? Because it means she's trying. And maybe that's enough. For now. Here's what I want you to take from this story. Not revenge. Not hatred. Not the satisfaction of watching someone fall. I want you to take this. You can love someone and still protect yourself. You can forgive someone without letting them back in. You can set boundaries without anger. You can choose yourself without guilt. My mother hurt me. She hurt me more than anyone ever has. But she also tried.
She went to therapy.
She apologized. She showed up, slowly, imperfectly, but she showed up. I don't know if I'll ever fully trust her. I don't know if we'll ever have the relationship I dreamed of as a child. But I know that I'm no longer afraid of her. And that, more than anything, is freedom. A few weeks ago, Lucas and I celebrated our second anniversary. We went back to the garden where we got married. The flowers were blooming. The string lights were glowing. The band was playing a different song, but the feeling was the same. We danced. Just the two of us.
No guests. No cameras.
No mother in white. Happy anniversary, he said. Happy anniversary. Do you regret anything? I regret not standing up to her sooner. I regret the years I wasted being afraid. But I don't regret us. Not for a second. Neither do I. He pulled me closer. 134 receipts, I said. What? You kept 134 receipts. For 3 years. Just waiting for the day you'd need them. I believed you. I knew the day would come. How did you know? Because people like your mother don't change. Not without a reason. And I wanted to give you a reason to fight back. I kissed him. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink and purple. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't looking over my shoulder. I was looking forward.
The end.
Thank you for listening to Gentle Drama. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment and tell us, what city are you watching from, and how old are you? Have you ever had to stand up to someone who is supposed to love you? Subscribe for more stories about family, boundaries, and finding your voice. And remember, you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm.
See you next time.